Hey Reapers, and today we have an awesome, insane video. Before I hop into it, I want you guys to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, or you can wait till the end to see this awesome theory and it'll be worth the subscribe, and share the video. Let's see if we can get 30 likes and 500 views. Alright, without further ado, let's hop into the video. Today we have an insane theory. So I was just in the locker looking around, and I was looking into Singularity a little bit when I realized something strange, and that just led me into a wormhole of researching and finding out more evidence, and then I ended up coming up with this huge theory, and now I'm here to share it with you guys after sharing it with someone and getting their opinion on it, and I think this is worth hearing. So we're gonna hop into the first thing I'm going to be talking about. And that is, Singularity is from the alien's home planet. So, we're gonna go right into the evidence. On the first style of Singularity, no one seems to have noticed this, but she has this symbol on her shoulder. Look familiar? This planet is located everywhere in loading screens, emoticons, and more this season. That means she could easily be from this home planet. And it really is interesting how she has this shape of a planet with a ring around it, just like all of the aliens do this season. Now I know there are a lot of other planets with rings out in the solar system, and I'm sure there's more than one in the Fortnite universe, but I don't think that they would do this just to be like, oh hey, it's actually a different planet, sorry about that. If you look closely, it's actually shaded in the right way too. Half of the planet is in this weird shading, just like the banner and the whatever picture I have up on screen of the other place that this planet has showed up. But you can see that it is shaded differently on the planet, but it's in the same throughout every single one of these reoccurring cosmetics that have this planet being shown. It has the same shading. So, moving on, we have more evidence. Her name is the exact name of Chimera's final armor edit style. Singularity has armor upgrade styles, and it's a black and purple armor the final armor edit style for him, and it's 17 alien artifacts. I think that's very interesting, especially since the word singularity has nothing to do with the colors black and purple, so they simply chose that name, which is very, very weird, and it's not a coincidence. So now we're gonna hop into some crazy info about Hypertilt City. In June, we got 4 loading screens and a music pack to go along with Mecha Cuddle Master. We know that Cuddle Team Leader was transported to a strange dimension, and she ended up in a city. It turns out, after translating the music pack, which was spoken in a different language, the city is called Hypertilt City. Hyper-tilted, Neo-tilted, and who built Neo-tilted on the Fortnite island? Singularity. She was inspired by her home city. So it sounded like a massive stretch at first, but when you really think about it, her city that she lived in being called Hypertilt City, which is a very futuristic city, and then she comes to the Fortnite island and rebuilds Tilted Towers as a futuristic Tilted Towers and calls it Neo-tilted, which means new tilted. It really adds up, and it would make a lot of sense for her to take some inspiration. That's also why that city looks way similar to the holograms, vehicles, and everything that we had in Season 9. Maybe not the vehicles though, we had ballers, that didn't make any sense. Right off the bat, that is a lot of evidence to support Singularity being in this alien home planet. But now I'm going to give you guys even more evidence. A lot of people are not really on board with the theory I'm about to give, but keep in mind that this has a lot of evidence to it, and it's always best to keep an open mind when theorizing. So, here we go. Singularity could be Paradigm. Yeah, I know you're thinking there's no way, 2 completely different characters for the storyline. That's not it. They have the exact same armor. For a while, this seemed just coincidental, but now that the Foundation symbol is literally in Hypertilt City, this could easily mean the rest of the 7 reside there. This lines up with the planet logo on her shoulder, too. So having the Foundation symbol in Hypertilt City could very well mean the rest of the 7 are there. Even if they weren't the same people, Singularity could already be there, and the rest of the 7 could already be there. Now, if you're looking at this video I have on screen that I made showing you guys a slider of how similar their suits are, an exact replica, you can see that it has to be the same person. Fortnite is not lazy enough to just copy the same design on one very important character in the story and put it onto another very important character in the storyline, and they look exactly the same but with just different armor styles and act like they're just two completely different people. Fortnite is not lazy enough to do that, and I know Donald Mustard would not do that unless it was intentional. So, and I've seen some other theories saying they could both be the sisters. I think that's possible, but I do think that her being Singularity and Paradigm, they're being the same person, makes a lot more sense. If you're not totally convinced yet that the 7 live in Hypertilt City, let me show you something. So I can't remember where this was stated or implied, so this is probably the least reliable piece of evidence in this video, but this reality is an anime reality, and the 7 all have anime smiles. Completely random styles, guys. Completely random. They have crosshair styles, dancer styles, all these serious styles with weird, creepy faces, and then all of a sudden you've just got these smiles. Not sure about you guys, but that seems very random to me, and I feel like it would make sense if they were from the city, having programmed some smiley faces into their masks. And I do remember somewhere it being stated or implied that this reality that the Mecha Cuddle Master was in was called the anime reality. So, that's that. Still not sure where that was from. In the comments, if you remember, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, moving on. So here, I have the definitions of the word singularity. Number 2 and 3 are the most important. Number 3, talking about a futuristic world with a cost. So, number 2 is talking about a black hole and being the center of it. This would also make a ton of sense because Paradigm is theorized to be the one who blasted into the 0 point. She also released right before Season X live event, the end event, meaning that they obviously released her for a reason. They didn't release the other ones, and they were all in the live event, so why would they just release Paradigm? It's because she was the one that plunged into the 0 point, although this is already very commonly theorized, so that's not the main point. But it does add up to number 2 of the definition of singularity, being the center of a black hole. She's the one who really started that black hole right there. She was finishing the job. So I think that is very cool that these definitions could easily relate to the stories of other characters. Number 3, a futuristic world with a cost. Maybe for some reason this futuristic city had a cost to it. Maybe it's the last reality. Maybe the cost was the Fortnite island, because we all saw in that reality the same planet, or the same reality with the planet is the same one with the city, and the island was just filled with desert. So I think it's very possible that maybe there was some cost there. In order to go survive on a different planet, they had to sacrifice the island in the order or whatever. I don't know. It's a stretch. So while we're on the topic of hidden meanings, her description is the first and the last. This explains her helmet in the vault in Season 8. She was the first to have contact with the 0 point. It was hers. It belonged to her alien race, or at least the people living in the city. Now, before I continue, a lot of you are probably like, you keep saying alien race. All the 7 have human-like bodies. Why would they, be aliens if they're literally all looking like humans? Well, Chimera is an alien, and he has a very, very similar body shape to the, humans and stuff. And we've also seen this season with the Joey skin that we can have skins and aliens that can be disguised as humans. So, just keep that in mind. I also do think it's very strange, the Foundation's, head piece. It looks very skinny, and it looks very difficult to fit a human head in there. So, that also backs up the fact that they could be aliens. Now, for the second part of her description, the last. Donald Mustard said she will be highly important in the storyline, which is why I'm even here. But this could mean she's part of the finale of the story, too. She's going to be the last one standing. She'll have the final contact with the 0 point, just like she had the first. The first and the last. Very, very interesting description, guys. I really do think this has something to do with her being in the vault, being the first maybe to have her hands on it, to, be in charge of it, to have contact with it, and then she'll be the last. I don't think the last applies yet. It might apply in, the future, but we'll have to see. Here's a very good theory by Charlie. I thought I'd include this in the video, because it's also possible this is what the description means. She was the first to have the 0 point and the last to finish the job. Very good explanation of what her description could be, so I'd like to keep that in mind too. Staying on the discussion of descriptions, paradigms is her allegiance is unknown. Is it possible that she betrays the 7? Will she betray the 7 to have the 0 point for herself? To be the last one standing? To be the last one ever with contact with the 0 point? You can see where I'm going with this. They correspond. Donald Mustard also said when referring to the Singularity that we know her by one of her names. Could another of her names be the Paradigm? I can't see why not. He also added the at the beginning of Singularity, and that is not in game. She is not called the Singularity in game. She's called Singularity. I think that right there is a pretty big hint toward her being Paradigm. Being called the Singularity is really, really game-changing, honestly, because she is the Singularity, the Paradigm. It's the same way that the 7 are described. A common theory is that Singularity also died and her robot exploded when she hit the barriers of the loop in the sky at the end of the final showdown in Season 9. I can easily disprove this. In Issue 6, comic spoilers ahead, guys. If you do not want any spoilers for Issue 6, click off the video now. In Issue 6 of the Batman comics, we learn that snapshots are created once someone leaves the loop. Why is this important? Well, it's important because we can see a snapshot of Singularity fighting inside the loop in the 0 point. This means she escaped. This means she has a snapshot in the loop because she escaped. She escaped when she launched into the sky in her mech, but the barrier would have killed her. This is because she opened a rift back to her reality before she hit the top. As you can see right here, we have a big blue explosion in the sky and just the shockwave outward. It looks so similar to the rocket event when the visitor hit a rift or created a rift and it shockwaved out with energy. And it probably closed directly after her. We've seen firsthand in the Batman comics that reaching the edge of the barrier disintegrates you immediately. No burst of light. But in this live event, we see that there's a burst of light in the sky and a little flicker of a yellow star. Well, star shape. It's the same star shape that we have in all of the 7 when they're shooting around, when the visitor was in the sky in the rocket launch event in Season 4, blast off. And it's that blue flickering star. This time it was yellow. I'm not sure what that could mean, but I think it's important. So, I don't know why I'm emphasizing important. She has a snapshot in the loop because she escaped and went back to her reality. And then, shortly after, she came back with the 7 in order to carry out the final plan and hit the 0 point. Something I forgot to include is the fact that she actually has very, very good experience with the 0 point. In Season 9, she knew exactly how to plug into the vault and power the rest of the island. And she also had a secret sword in the ground that was being powered by the 0 point energy, and she knew exactly to use that to kill the monster. She obviously has a lot of experience with the 0 point. Who else does? The Visitor and the Scientist. So does the Foundation. The Foundation immediately flew up and went right into the 0 point and tried untangling its reality ball. So I think, honestly, that right there proves that they must be the same. The Paradigm and the Singularity, they have to be the same. It has to be it, guys. I'm just saying, I really do feel strongly about this one, and there's just so much evidence. Overall, this is a lot of evidence to point to her living in this city and being the Paradigm. The fact that Cuddle Team Leader also got teleported to this city and Singularity built a massive Cuddle Team Leader mech is no coincidence. What do you all think? Is there any more evidence I missed? Make sure to let me know in the comment sections. I want your thoughts. I want your ideas. And if you have anything that you think I missed in this video or forgot to cover, I would love to hear it so I can keep it in the back of my mind, add it to this Google Doc I'm reading off of right now. And yeah, then we're all set. So, quick recap for you all. Basically, Singularity has a patch on her shoulder that looks like the planet that is seen reoccurring from everywhere in this battle pass and in loading screens. That could hint at her being in the alien planet that the aliens came from. She also has several hints to having relations with the aliens by her name being the final armor edit style for Chimera, and the translation of the city is Hypertilt City. It's very, very similar to the Neo Tilted that she built in Season 9. Next, Singularity could be Paradigm for a handful of reasons. I suggest you guys go back and listen to me discuss those because it's kind of hard to recap without not covering everything. And then we've got some hidden meanings such as her description, the first and the last. We covered some examples of what that could mean, and Charlie also gave a very good idea of what that description could mean. Paradigm's description was her allegiance is unknown. She may not be that loyal to the 7 because she had the first contact with the 0 point, cough cough, Singularity, and she might want it for herself. That one's a stretch for sure, but it's definitely good to put that down just to make sure to cover everything. And then, obviously, Donald Mustard said that Singularity would be very important, and she also had several names. And we know that the Paradigm could be one of them, and he also said the Singularity instead of Singularity. And then I disproved the theory about Singularity dying when her robot exploded and she reached the barrier of the loop, because she opened a rift, and we know that there is no boom when you hit the barrier, you just disintegrate. So I think that is pretty much it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. This is probably a long one when I edit this down, but if you did enjoy and you think this is a great theory and you get it, you understand, let me know and share the video with friends. Let's try and get 500 views, 30 likes. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, keep it reapin'.